Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. Last season, we made the playoffs for the first time, and now it is our job to try to get back there again. Before we get started, though, a bit of a sad note. I'm gonna do a full tribute on Monday's video, but Willie Mays passed away today, Wednesday, which is when I'm recording this video, June 19th. Yeah, I'm gonna have more to say about that on Monday, but I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that and the incredible debt that both Major League Baseball and the people of America owe to him and what he was able to achieve. So, that being said, there's a lot of people on the waiver wire. Are any of them good? Eh, I know we don't have great outfielders. I don't know that that's necessarily a way to solve that problem. Oh, somebody said, and I don't know why they said this. What if we played Gunnar Henderson in center field and played Lee at first? I don't know why I would do either of those things. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So what do we have to look forward to? This is in a lot of ways last year's team with a few changes. Young-Hoo Lee was perhaps our biggest, and I say this with a question mark on it, free agent signing, a new center fielder to replace the departed Brandon Marsh, who surely found a team willing to pay him more money. Um, we also added on Davison De Los Santos through free agency to add a little bit more pop to the lineup. And then our new first baseman is Ernesto Martinez, who we acquired in a trade with the Brewers. This is a very top-heavy team. Very top-heavy. And while I can definitely count on someone like Juan Escalera to keep being productive toward the bottom of the lineup, I don't know how I feel about the rest of the 6 through 9 hitters. Peguero's value is always going to be limited because so much of it is based in his defense. He is a really good second baseman. I don't want to mischaracterize him there. But because his only measurable skill is the ability to hit for average, if he's not hitting 280 or 290, he'll never be an above average hitter. And so we're relying heavily on his base running skills and his defense, making him a valuable player. For right now, he's worth what we're paying him. Will he be that in 2 years? Hard to say. Ernesto Martinez is not a good first baseman. We've really actually struggled there ever since we traded Fujiru, which at least one other person has mentioned. Why would you do that? Maybe we should have kept him around or found a way to just pay him a little bit less money. Hopefully Ernie Jarvis recovers, because this is not a Murderer's Row rotation, guys. The good news is they're all old Charlotte hands, to the extent of at least having one full season with us. Whether that's Colton Hartman, Bubba Chandler, Graham Ashcraft had returned. Somehow Graham Ashcraft returned. He's back. Hunter Brown was one of our big trade targets, and we're hoping for another decent season out of him, but he's already lost a lot of his skill. If you remember, he was a 60 when we acquired him. He is losing velocity quite rapidly, so this will be his last year with us. And then Josh Hunter returns to the rotation. He's had a very ping-pongy existence with us, but he's still been a useful pitcher. Our bullpen is not great. I think that is the kindest way I can put it. Nick Robertson is an effective pitcher, but he's not a world beater. Jim Resendez. I still don't know what his best position is. It's probably not the one he's currently in, but at least it doesn't cost you anything. Arias might have the best raw pitching talent of anyone on the team, but for right now, I'm content to just let him just be a reliable arm. We brought in Mackenzie Gore. We brought him back for $4 million. I initially intended him to be a starter, but if we think we get more out of him as a reliever, I'm fine with that. It's a bunch of pitchers that are largely interchangeable. We do have a little bit of help on the way in the person of one Joe Welch. If Mr. Welch can improve a little bit during this season, I think he's got a chance to be a closer. Acquired through Rule 5 draft pick, of course. Um, can we make the postseason again? Absolutely, but it's going to depend a lot on the top part of our lineup. If 1 through 4, maybe even 1 through 6, can be really productive, I think our pitching staff is acceptable. It's not great, but it's acceptable. And it'll be even better when Ernie Jarvis can return. Assuming he returns with anything like his previous skill, we should be in pretty good shape. Um, I don't see us going very deep in the postseason. I don't think we're built for that because we don't have the arms. But anything can happen once you actually get there. Um, I want to really quickly check. We have 24 million for extensions, and we've got a fair few players who are going to be free agents. So the question becomes: are any of them worth keeping? Of all my choices, Arias is someone I'd like to bring back. Arias has a decent bit of upside to him, and he's still a fairly competent pitcher. What does Arias want to stick around? He wants basically what he's making right now. Perfect. That's an easy choice. He's been an effective pitcher for us. He throws a lot of innings, and he's not asking for very much money. That's an easy choice for me. Gore, I don't know about yet. Bubba Chandler is really interesting. Take a look at his contract demands. They're pretty substantial. I don't see him being. How do I want to put this? He has had one elite season with us, which was last year. He's been useful, but especially since he's already lost some of his former shine. Remember, he used to be almost rated 60. He's dropped a lot. That could just be season rest. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he is doomed to be a failure. But I don't think spending 8 figures to keep him is a great idea. Hunter Brown's definitely gone. He's losing velocity, which is the first sign of a pitcher declining in effectiveness. If he wanted to come back for like 5 million, I'd think about it, but he's still gonna have a pretty high opinion of himself, so that's a hard no from me. $8 million for a reliever that didn't even pitch that much is just not a good. It's not a good use of money. It just isn't. So yeah, other than Arias, none of the rest of these strike as terribly appealing, and that should hopefully give us a fair bit of money to play with next season to make some upgrades, which I'm sure we'll need. Um, Jarvis is pretty expensive. I don't think I spend it yet. I need to see him stay healthy. Um, it's possible he's overworked in 2029. This is a guy who'd only thrown No, he thrown about that many between college and the pros. But yeah, we'll see. But I think Jarvis is a pretty good candidate to get to stick around a while longer. Um, I need to see another season out of Escalera before I'm willing to commit more resources to him. Because the difference between his 2029 and his 2030 are legions. In roughly the same number of plate appearances, 9 plate appearances is hardly anything. His home runs shot up, his doubles shot up, he got on base more. The strikeouts are always going to be a problem with him. If we take a look at his strikeout rate from the previous season, it's going to be probably about 15 to 20%, which is excessive. Look at expanded batting stats. Yeah, 22%. If I could get him to reduce that by 5 to 10%, he'd be a genuinely amazing player, but alas, we are not so fortunate. The other player I want to talk about is Chris Thomason. Because somebody pointed out we probably rushed him to the major leagues. I think you're probably right. I think that's a fair statement. However, I could send him back to the minors. I could do that. And maybe use Kimura. Kimura only... No, Kimura plays all 3 positions. I'd be rushing Kimura too. But the difference is... actually, let's check the waiver wire. This is actually a perfect time to check the waiver wire. If I can get a better utility guy than Thomason, I'll let him go back to the minors to percolate a bit longer. He is still quite young. He's 22. And especially if Gunnar Henderson opts out of his contract, we might need him to play third base. Because he's not starting right now, right? No, he's not. Okay. I do think him playing every day in AAA is more useful to us than him being a reserve in AA. So I need to check on the waiver wire. And I want infielders, please and thank you. Eric Brown Jr. would actually be a pretty good fit. Let's go ahead and do it. Mr. Jr., I would like you to join our team. And we're going to advance a couple of days. And then we will instantly send down to... Holy shit. We just scored 21 runs. That's a lot of runs. That is an excessive amount of runs. I beg your pardon, game. 21 runs. Blah, 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 blah. In schedule. How on earth do we score 21 runs? Zapata got 2 home runs. Giacolotto got a home run and a single. Look at this fucking graph right here. Damn. They were up 5 to 2. Hartman got beat up pretty badly, but then our bullpen sealed it up, and then we're just like, you know what? We just didn't stop scoring runs. One of his was a grand slam. Zapata's definitely player of the game, 100%. We got home runs from a lot of people, though. Even as Armenteros, who also got a grand slam. Wild. That's some good baseball right there. That is some darn fine baseballing. How long is Mackenzie Gore out? I don't think we know yet. I think it's still pending. Yeah. Let me really quickly have it rebuild the depth charts. Oh, he'll figure it out. That's right. I'm not actually controlling that in this game, so cool. Eh. I'm sure glad I didn't offer him an extension. Um, who's our most capable pitcher at this point? I really wish Perry, Eob, and Harmon weren't all basically the exact same pitcher. That makes it hard to figure out which one I should call up. Okay. Perry's a soft tossing lefty with some decent pitches, but I don't know that he's a good fit. Eob's got a little bit more velocity to him. His hike, his control is higher. He's got several decent pitches. Eob might be the guy. Jimmy Harmon is more useful as like a back end kind of player. But I think we're best suited using Eob as our new pitcher. Because Perry's close. If Perry can keep developing as a pitcher, I think he's got a chance to actually crack the rotation. So I don't want to rush him for that. We're gonna use Eob. Eob. I guess it also could have been Barajas if we wanted somebody a bit more polished. But I think giving Eob some reps is a really good idea. I could also remove Colton Hartman as a starting pitcher. That might happen anyway once Ernie Jarvis is ready to come back. We'll see though. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. At the bare minimum, he's a really reliable pitcher who throws plenty of innings, and that's always going to be a useful thing to have on your team, especially for pennies on the dollar. That's a really good move for us, and I'm happy about it. You can both go to Portland. I wonder why we're going all the way to Portland for our AAA team. That seems excessive. If it was Portland, Maine, I kind of understand it, but it says Portland and it's in the PCL, so I'm assuming it's Portland, Oregon. Resendez is throwing harder. Romano's getting worse. Eob is a skosh better. Brown is a skosh worse. A few other people are slipping a little bit. Chris Perry added some movement. Some other guys here are starting to potentially push the envelope. I forgot we signed Jack Flaherty. That's a possibility. Maybe down the line if we need somebody to help us out. Eli Ferguson making a couple of waves. Arturo Salinas getting better. Ernie Cherkis is getting better, which is good news. I'm not seeing much in the way of big changes, though. Oh, something else somebody else pointed out, which is quite correct. We have a lot of money invested in player development and scouting, which is why we can't have quite the why we can't have quite the payroll we might otherwise desire. So we might have to start making some choices about that in the years to come. That is fantastic news. It's wonderful news. We desperately need a really top tier pitcher because we're struggling badly to get off the top of the season. Um, I shudder to look at how we're hitting right now. I wonder if we just like blew our load in that first game of scoring 21 runs, and now we're just not going to score the rest of the season. Armenteros, you silly sausage. You silly sausage. We're a very streaky team, which I find kind of surprising. Okay. Who is our least effective pitcher and why is it Ben Cadurna? Oh god, the entire bullpen is awful. The starters aren't much better. This is very yikes. Okay. Yeah, we're getting rid of Cadurna. 100%. I'm also letting you play Hartman wherever you want to play him because we just need pitching at the right place. And forcing him to be a starter, I don't think is helping us anymore. If you want to make him a starter, great. I support this. But if you'd rather put him in the pen, that's also fine. Yeah. Ernie Josh is starting, though. I don't want to hear it from you. 300 homers by Eloy Jimenez. Good for him. Yeah, the thing is, when our offense is firing on all cylinders, we're pretty hard to stop. The problem is, that's not easy. Amar Eob is getting better. I mean, Thomason is getting better, but I need him to be a better hitter, and that is a far slower progression. Edgar Aguirre is throwing harder. Esteban Covarrubias is doing pretty decent. Tommy McPherson just made a leap, which is really fascinating because he wasn't even on my radar, but he's got a chance on to be a catcher at some point, which is always great to see. All right, how long is Bo Naylor out? He's day to day with blurred vision. He doesn't need to be able to see. Gunnar fucking Henderson needs to figure out whatever his fucking problem is and solve it. Like, this is now like the third year in a row he's gotten off to this ice cold start, and it's really frustrating. Because making the whole rest of the team worse. Oscalera is trash tier. Ernesto Martinez has virtually nothing to offer. I mean, our lineup is actually really potent, mostly thanks to Giacoletto and Zapata and Bo Naylor. Um, yeah, pitching is gross. I just see better pitchers somehow, and I don't know where that comes from is my biggest concern. I don't know where, if anywhere, we have young pitchers waiting to take the lead. If we look at our prospect pipeline, Eob and Welch are already in the major leagues, and those are the two that we think are going to be ready this year. So yeah, the eternal quest for more talent continues. Yeah, fuck off, Wusuk. Robert Kalina wouldn't be a bad pitcher, but he's not terribly exciting. Who's on the trade block right now? I need pitching, please. Taj Bradley is phenomenal. I would be stunned if they're willing to give him up for like he's very clearly a rental because I wouldn't bring him back. I can't afford him. Yeah. The problem is I can't afford him or a lot of other people. I am willing to acquire Dobovich. I do think he'd make a pretty decent upgrade to the bullpen. I don't really want to give you Juan Carrasco though. I think Carrasco still has a chance to be a useful hitter. What if I started by offering you? Oh God, we took Graham Ashcraft out of the rotation. He's not gonna like that. Oh, you don't have any money. That's a problem. Never mind. Bennett Salsa would be pretty good. Please start really just looking at the pictures, please. That would be amazing. Thank you, game. Hmm. What if I added Ben Joyce? What if I did that? I'm not giving you Dixon. I actually think Dixon has a chance to be a useful pitcher for us. Um, I don't want to keep Nick Robertson because I think he will figure it out. I can't give you most of the players you're asking about, sadly. I could give you Robertson, though. How about Ashcraft? I'm just gonna finish one day, and I'm gonna see. Um. Okay, it is slightly expanding. You can't have Giovanni Rodriguez, that's for sure. I'll give you Joel Dixon. Because we're saving a lot of money in this, and that gives us more flexibility. So, yeah, I think this is worth it. We're going to call up Ben Joyce to pitch for us in a baseball capacity. And then The problem is the two very best pitchers are Go and Quan, neither one of which are going to be anywhere near worthy of a major league roster spot because they're going to be hurt for so long. I could see Johan Oviedo being a useful pitcher. There's a lot to like about him. Sure. I think he'll sign fairly quickly. Is he already signed? No, that's this guy. Okay. I'm hoping he signs fairly quickly because the moment he does sign, I will promote him. There you go. And you're going right to the major leagues, my friend. There you go. And we're going to zip along a little bit here. This is kind of shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic to a certain degree because we don't have we don't have elite starters just waiting for an opportunity. Yeah, if you can't hit, I'd rather go ahead and put you on the IL and let you recover and like promote either Tommy McPherson or Daniel Cope, and I think we'll pick Cope. There we go. Okay, Naylor is back. Let's go ahead and try to get Cope through waivers again, which I'm sure probably won't be too challenging. Zapata, what is this fucking bullshit of having a strained oblique? You need to stop. Damn, Steve Callahan. What a guy. What is a rail cat? Maybe I'm better off not asking. You are free to say whatever you'd like, Arias, but I would prefer you stop complaining instead. Do we? Oh, yes, Daniel Cope cleared waivers again. Brilliant. Hmm. I mean, Jimmy Harmon is throwing harder. That's only going to make him more valuable. If Ernie Jarvis loses his stamina, that's going to piss me off because he doesn't have a lot to begin with. That's going to make him a far less effective player. I mean, Ethan Vaughn improving your kind of your potential is great, but I'd like you to start actually improving your current abilities. Jeremy Calendar is slipping but throwing harder. Um. Hmm. 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 Why is he on my list? Oh, I think he was somebody that actually thought about drafting, but I chose not to. All right. Gunnar Henderson has figured out his shit. Davison De Los Santos has been a really nice player for us. He's actually been a pretty welcome addition to the club. Escalera is still ice cold, which is disappointing. But the lineup isn't really the problem. I mean, other than Ernesto Martinez, who probably could be properly replaced. It's still the pitching. And even our defense, I guess, is struggling too. Who's fucking up on defense? Which of you shitbirds can't play your position well? Ironically, it's the guy we need to be a good player the most, which is our center fielder, which is disappointing. He's not bad, but it looks like he is struggling a bit with the harder plays. I mean, defensive efficiency is kind of a garbage stat anyway. Like, I'm not that worried about it. We're making a lot of errors. Who's making all the errors? I mean, it's just our infield. That's not important, right? Come on, guys. Do better. Do better. Okay. I don't know how to fix the pitching staff. I truly don't. I truly don't. I don't think it can be fixed, which I think is our biggest issue. The bullpen has gotten better. The bullpen is at least approaching tolerableness. But the rotation still fucking sucks. Um is there anything in common you're all doing? Let's look at just the starting pitchers. Is there anything in common between you? You're all walking a fair number of people, but most of you, for those sort of striking out enough that that's not as big a deal. Brown and Hartman are feeding some. I mean, Chandler has completely disintegrated. That walks per nine is disgusting. 6 walks per 9 innings. I don't know how he's only got a 7% walk rate. Oh, that's strikeouts minus walks. Yeah. Here's our problem here. The three pitchers that are pitching the worst, shocking I know, are all walking way too many people, especially Chandler. Which is meant to be one of his strengths, right? Like he's meant to not walk that many people. And I think that's what's getting us into trouble. Okay. Yeah. The walks are a huge problem. And you've got a good relationship with a few of these pitchers, but not as many as I would like. So that is something to consider. Is replacing our pitching coach. I don't know where we find new pitchers. I think now's the time to take a moment and start looking for really good young pitchers. Okay, we want players that are pitchers, search all leagues. potential of at least 60. The problem is, very few people have enough players that they'd be willing to part with one of them. The Giants might. Like, Joe Hunt might be a conceivable choice. He's a well-rounded pitcher, decent stamina, pretty smart, a ground baller. Okay. That's about what I figured would happen. Um, these really good pitchers are just not going to be available unless I'm willing to pay through the nose for them. I would happily take Jackson Ferris. I'd even take on his salary because he's that good a pitcher. But I give you any one of those three. But the fact is, you're willing to talk, and that's a great start. You cannot have a pitching prospect. I would give you Uriarte. And Perry, and Milanes, and Wise. Okay. I'm going to start drawing back on this, if I can. What if we just did Chandler and Uriarte? I know Uriarte is a really good player. I think we can afford to make this work. If... Yes, done. Instantly. Okay. That completely changes the game for us. In the best possible way. We're very left-handed, which was not my intention. But a guy that throws this hard as a left-hander is very valuable. Is he going to be expensive? Yes. However, I think he is worth it, and you have to pay for quality starters if you want to have quality starters. Does anyone want Hunter Brown? For pretty much anything. As long as they have some upside. Nate Best isn't thrilling. I'm looking to open up a roster spot, though, because I'm not going to keep Brown anyway. Give me Rodriguez and Bass. If you give me both players, then I will happily make this trade with you. Okay, done. And then we're going to give Chris Perry a chance. Or maybe Harmon? I don't want another left-handed starter. I've already got 3 of them. So I think that means Perry. Perry's also a lefty. I see. Okay. That's funny. I had no idea I had so many left-handed pitching prospects. I thought I had some that were not lefties. Mm. I guess Barajas is fine. Let me grab Colina and promote him. And you can go right to Charlotte. That is so interesting. I had no idea that all of my top pitching prospects were lefties. That was not my intent, but that is something we'll have to consider now. I at least have theoretical top end pitching talent, which I haven't had in quite a while, if ever in reality. If Ferris and Jarvis can combine to give us some real what you call it, consistency, I think that's going to be so valuable for us. Lose Pagero for a couple weeks, that's fine. I guess that means Thomason comes back. Is it Covarrubias? It is not Covarrubias, who cannot actually play second base. I guess it is Thomason. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn around and trade Covarrubias and see what sort of prospect I might be able to get in exchange for him. Really? Okay. Any Greenos? No, I can get reasonably good pitchers, but nobody terribly thrilling. I'll wait and check toward the end of the season and see. I will put him officially on the block and see what that does. Mackenzie Gore, go ahead and rehab, please. How are you angry? We're. Oh my god. Yes, there's no homegrown talent. Definitely no Sergio Zapata or Andy Giacoletto here. What the fuck, man? Okay. I think the first thing that has to happen, I think we do need to replace Matches as a pitching coach. Or maybe we don't. I don't really want to mess with the major league staff if I can avoid it, unless I'm getting somebody that's a genuine upgrade. Let's go ahead and extend him. I'll also extend Nick Bucci. I will definitely extend Ben Johnson. And then the question becomes, do we extend our third base coach? Sorry, first it's just John Wayner. I think we do. I think he's done a really good job as our first base coach. The chemistry is humming pretty well. I see no reason not to keep him around. unless like half the team hates you or something. Which they don't. Like, you're really good at developing infielders, which is going to continue to be an issue. So yeah, we'll keep this staff together for another year. Like, we got beat with a perfect fucking game. I don't know how I can be too upset about that. Our mining system is very mid. We don't have the top tier talent that other teams have. We're really going to have to be careful in this draft. And I think one thing I've been neglecting is I think I've been going so hard trying to get pitching talent in, I've been neglecting offensive talent. I think we have to go best player available. That's not ideal, but okay. I'm assuming Thomason is playing second base. No, Eric Brown Jr. is for some reason. Why though? Huh? Why would you take somebody who's this good defensively and decide, yeah, he's not the guy I want starting. I want somebody else starting. All right, game. Like, I guess Ernie Brown Jr. is a marginally better hitter, but that's not saying a lot. Hmm. We'll see. Okay, that's EO bout. I think that gets to mean that Mackenzie Gore gets his chance to pitch in the majors this year. Four-arm strength, but he's only got two-arm. Yeah, I know I'm hilarious. I'm a comedic master. It turns out all we need to do to be successful is just have a Triple Crown player for the first half of the season. That's it. What could be easier? Tommy McPherson has really turned a lot of heads this offseason. I'd like him to play a bit longer in AAA, so I'm going to promote Cope instead. But he's definitely on my radar now as a player who's got a chance to make a meaningful contribution here in the next season or so. Or thereabouts. Arias made it as a pitcher, which I'm kind of surprised by. Giacoletto didn't make it. I mean, Zapata did, which is amazing. I like how Joe Hoy is somehow the fucking starter. Like, bro, no. Stop embarrassing yourself, dude. Oh, Zapata is a starter. It looks like they're having him maybe DH. I don't know. Maybe he's having Joe Hoy DH. I only had two All Stars this season: Arias and Zapata. I'm genuinely surprised Giacoletto didn't get some consideration, since he's having another incredible season. Like, he's playing extremely well. I mean, yeah, his bat isn't quite as good as it was the past couple of years. Hopefully his power comes back, but I'm still pretty happy about him. Gunnar fucking Henderson, man. I don't know. I don't know. Um, Only two All Stars doesn't make me sad though. Varner made it from our prospects. Even though he's really struggling in rookie ball, which is not great. Development. Oviedo's getting worse. Escalera is doing things. Jimmy Harmon is getting to the point where he might force the issue, even though he's not. Um, he's not a starting pitcher. He's not. He's a lefty like everyone else on this team apparently. I think he's worth it. Ooh, one of my prospects actually got better. That's pretty good. And Joe Welch got Rookie of the Month. That's pretty exciting. Is there a good reason to keep Jimmy Harmon in the minors anymore? Yes, because he is marginally worse than the guys that have already got up in the majors. Marginally worse. I mean, I guess he could replace Resendez. Like, let's be clear. Jimmy Harmon is almost certainly going to make the roster when rosters expand, assuming none of my pitchers get hurt. If any pitcher does get hurt, he's at the top of the food chain. Wow, Jacques Leto nearly lost the voting to Carlos Jorge. That's disappointing. Remember how excited I was when we got Gunnar Henderson? I was like, fuck yeah. And then it turned out he sucked. I remember that. Because it's happening right now. I mean, granted, when you've got a Triple Crown guy, at least he was a Triple Crown before fucking Tristan Costas decided to be a jackass. Oh, wrong pick arrow. Alright. We're picking 27th, which is quite possibly one of the worst times to pick. This seems like a reasonably deep draft, though. So we should still be able to get a decent talent with our first pick. Let's auto sim. Why don't people like Josh Rain Trump, besides his unfortunate name? Okay, first things first, he is not a center fielder. Not even in his wildest dreams is he a center fielder. He's got a lot of power. A lot of power. He's not a terrible pitcher either. And he's got really good marks here. He's a switch hitter. I see no reason not to take him. Full transparency, I see no reason not to take him. We'll look at his pitching ratings. He doesn't throw super hard. But that could always... He's too good a prospect. I have to take him. Welcome to the Silver Wolves. You even want to sign for below slot, but I think you're a good enough player that it's worth it. Okay. I like Ernesto Rosales, and we do need more position players in our minor leagues. However, no, actually, there is no however. He's an incredible defender at all the positions. He could even play the outfield if we needed him to. He's got enough offensive skills that I think he'll carry his glove. So I think Mr. Rosales, welcome to the team. All right. When you can draft a guy named Cletus, you kind of have to. Cletus is a pretty good prospect, but I don't want to go so heavy into hitting that I miss out on pitching prospects. I think we're going to take a pitcher now. Chase Baptiste, good at keeping the ball down, works pretty hard, Some nice pitches here with the curveball, changeup, sinker combo. I don't think he's a top tier pitcher, but I think he's a pretty good one for the third round. I think he's a pretty decent choice, but let's keep looking. Pietro's also got really good makeup. Also good at keeping the ball down. He's only got 3 pitches, but they're better than any of Baptiste's pitches. What about Alvin Cooksey? The lefty factor continues. I don't think so. I think Piedra is our man for one very important reason. Right there. I think he's got a pretty good chance to break out given his height, so we will go ahead and pay him the slot. And done. Damn. Oh, Ronson is actually a really good pitcher. And I do need relievers that can get the job done. Yeah, let's take him. I will meet your every salary demand. Okay. The benefit of Steve Holsinger is he should hit the major leagues relatively quickly, but I'm not that convinced he's that good. I definitely want to pay money for him. All right, Derek Hollins. Hollins is a pretty decent hitter. I don't love his outfield play, which is merely meh, but I'm willing to let him figure out how to hit for us. Let's do it. I will even give you your demand. Mike Bell just continues to slip. I kind of see why. I've got plenty of money, but let's look at some of these other guys. Jake Burcroft. Good power, hardworking, the capability to handle himself in the outfield. I think he's a good fit. So we'll take Mr. Burcroft here. Next up, Clint Hampton. Hampton is an okay hitter, but he's not a very good catcher. I don't know that that fills me with much interest. What a junk baller. I think his velocity is too low. I don't think he'd succeed in the major leagues. Mangana, maybe. Nice slider and cut fastball. Pretty decent all around pitcher. I like Joe Reynolds, though. I do like Joe Reynolds. He's going to a good school. He's got tons of power. And he's a pretty good catcher, too. I think Reynolds is the pick. But if Mangana's still around, I will grab him. Sendor double dam like a fucking Harry Potter character. I did say I would take Mangana if he was still around, so I will. Deshaun Ambush is such an incredible name. Ooh, he's fragile. Nah, I don't think so. Um, I could see this working out. Luis Suazo, come on down. You're the next contestant on the Silver Wolves array. Hmm. I thought it said Joe Angie, but it's in fact Joe Argy. Vince Engel is a decent hitter, but is not a great catcher. When you could get McCadden Gillespie instead, though, how could you not? I find it fascinating that your stuff is so good when you throw so softly, but because you're a lefty, I'm willing to give you a chance. Come on, McCadden. Develop the way we think you might. Um, Blasco cannot play center or second base. He is not a second baseman. Engel is not a catcher. Green was not really an outfielder. He's a decent enough hitter that I'm willing to take him and see if he can figure it out. Jimmy Lawson. I will take Phil March. I think he's a very solid, reasonable choice. You know what? Just for fun, let's just do the whole draft this time. Every single player will be somebody that I personally handpicked. Vince Angle keeps falling, and I know he can't catch, but there's a chance that if he develops his bat, we could put him in first. So I think he's fallen enough. We're going to end the fall. Mike Gardner is not that terribly fascinating, but I will consider him strongly. Do we have any big thumpers left? I like Mike Gardner. Let's take him. He's not even a real Gardner, I know, but that's okay. I like Art Barrett. I can make this work. Uh-huh. Yeah, he is very much a lottery ticket, but this is the 16th round of the draft. If there's ever time to take a lottery ticket, this is when. Sergio Abrego seems like a pretty decent choice. Although his control is really bad, and we can fix that, he's another diamond in the rough. For sure. Any elite control guys left. That is reasonable stuff. Jacqueline Camargo or Steve Sween. I like Sween better because he's got better stuff. There we go. Any interesting batters left? Any big contact guys? Not really. Any good defenders left? We're looking at pitchers. That's why they all suck at hitting. I will draft Eric Escutia. And the final draft pick of the Charlotte Silvers, I cannot remember the name of our team. Brian Ben Cryer. The draft is completed. Everyone's been offered their salaries. Brilliant. That was a pretty good draft. I like Van Trump might be one of the best players in the draft as a two-way player. Who would give me Nolan Schanuel or Ethan Varner? I can't give you one of my only top level pitching prospects, though. That's not a thing I can find myself accepting, so I'm going to mark him as untouchable and reject the trade. Montoya, our old friend. Damn, he never turned out, did he? I've got 500 career wins as a manager. That's pretty exciting stuff. We can have Yob back. Do we want him back? I don't see why we wouldn't. He's actually a really talented pitcher with quite a bit of upside. Does anybody want Mackenzie Gore? I will consume his entire salary if you just take him because I don't want him on the roster anymore. No, huh? I'm going to try waiving him and see if somebody else is just going to claim him, but I'd rather have Eob at this point than Mackenzie Gore. Okay, Pagero, you can come back. I want Thomason back in the minors because if you're not going to play him anyway, there's no sense in... Yeah. A little bit too much for me. Especially since Dusty Hackett might actually be a viable shortstop. Those don't grow on trees. What if I drop Hackett? No, then you really want a top quality player. I'm not willing to do that. Oh, okay. Cool. Wow, thanks, game. Amazing. Have you guys good deal? Oh, just kidding. No. Mm-mm. Rejected. Really? Eric Brown Jr., is that exciting to you? But Max Meyer is whatever. I'll find a place to pitch him. Juan Morales is genuinely a decent prospect. As is Stephen Hose. Yeah, I will take this 1,000 times out of 1,000. I don't know why Eric Brown Jr. is the key to your baseball happiness, but I'm here for it. Thomason comes back. Who do we make departures with? Probably Kalina. Does literally anybody want Mackenzie Gore for anything? I will pay his salary for you. Just please give me something for him. Alright. I'm getting some offers here. I would actually take this deal. Because we do need a better first baseman. Especially if Oakland will eat part of his salary.
I could see this working out for us pretty well. What if I asked you to pay his entire salary? Okay. If I throw in Ernie Martinez, Ernesto Martinez, I guess Ernie is fine. He hasn't been that terrible this year. Um, but if I can get you, really, adding Martinez makes it worse. If you'll eat half his salary and significantly upgrade our first baseman situation, I will happily do it. Done. What if I traded you for a prospect? Is anybody interested in you? I guess we could take Steve Wilson. Like, I don't want Martinez anymore. And at least all Wilson needs is a roster spot, but then he'll immediately go to the minors where he belongs. So that's not too bad. And you can go to AAA. No, he doesn't, does he? What does he have here in the roster the entire season? Oh, because he's a Rule 5 draft pick. Okay. Nafi Rosario, I'm gonna send you to hell. No, I'm not. Rosario's raw power. Oh, his raw power is 4 home runs this season. He's got a crazy amount of slugging percentage, but yeah, I think Rosario can go to the minors and be replaced by Wilson. And then Parmigiani or Palmigiani can hang out with us. Can anybody here play center field if Lee gets hurt? Zapata is not good. Wilson is not good. Armenteros is not good. Escalera is not good. I'm gonna send Escalera to the minors and bring Rosario back. Where's Nafi? Oh god, he's not a very good center fielder either, is he? Let's bring Slade Caldwell back, or Chris Moorman. No, definitely Caldwell. Caldwell it is. Yeah, I'm hoping Escalera going back to AAA will kind of jumpstart him because he's having a very, very rough offensive season. It's already expired, so thank you, but no. Nah, I'm good. Clear trade. And reject trade. An upgrade in the outfield would be pretty welcome. Luis de Avila. No, that would be like a rental. I like Noah Miller's defense, but I mean, Peguero is almost as good as he is, and we already have him. Corey Bradford, maybe. It's our old pal Fuchi-Ru. How's he done since he departed? How has he performed? Not super great. I don't want Will Benson back. He doesn't really offer much. But he gets on base okay. He's probably better than most of the outfielders I have right now. But I don't think so. Carlos Jorge is really, really good. He's also expensive as fuck. I don't think I can afford Jack Sawinski. Is the problem. Otherwise, I'd be very interested in him. $26 million for a closer. I don't fucking think so, man. I don't think so. I could see going for Denzel Clark. And you don't really want a whole lot for him. I won't give you Escalera, but I would give you Armenteros. Or Lee for that matter. How much is Clark making? I could. Oh, Clark is making pretty much nothing. Yeah. I will happily swap you for Lee. Done. Okay, okay. I will give you 3 years for a whole lot less money than that. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. If it means I just have you for 1 year, I just have you for 1 year, but Lee wasn't that great a player. I think I'm satisfied with the deadline. I will skip to the next sim to see if anybody else makes me a great offer, but I don't think there's anybody else I particularly care for. Yeah, I don't think so. The thing is, I don't really see that we're in a situation where I feel desperate and that I think our window is closing. If I was, I'd be a little bit more willing to spend for players. But as it is for right now, yeah. I think we're better off the way we are right now and just letting my youngsters continue to develop and try things out and upgrade where we can. getting some nice improvements, which is pretty exciting. Sergio Zapata has been real good this year. I think is a safe assumption. He's already surpassed his production from last year, and I'll have you note this August, which means he's still got another month and a bit. Who are you? Oh, you are another guy that I almost drafted when I picked Giacoletto instead. I still think Giacoletto was the right call. You'll never convince me otherwise. What if we went after Jesus Montoya with a tire iron to get Zapata his much deserved triple crown this year? What if we did that? Because like, hey Montoya, I need you to help fix my car. Wham! Right in the kneecap. I mean, Zapata could just also hit more home runs. That's also a possibility, but clearly he has chosen not to do that. Come on, man. 2 home runs. Actually, 1 home run. I think you still get a triple crown, even if you're tied for the lead in a stat. Uh, go ahead and go back to the minors. Oh, I guess you do have to. I don't want to waive you. I'll have you rehab. Like Escalera is almost certainly coming back, but this was a chance to send him down to the minors and let him build his confidence back up potentially. Damn it, Montoya! I fucking hate you. You're not even playing for anything. You're not going to make the playoffs. Just stop hitting. Just stop. I swear the game is coded to do this. Like the moment somebody's in danger of winning a triple crown, they like juice up another player. Disgusting. Disgusting. Nice work, Ferris. Giacoletto just casually gets even better at baseball. You'd love it. You'd love to see it. I think it's going to be Giovanni Rodriguez and Jimmy Harmon. No, it's going to be Escalera. Yeah, it's going to be Escalera, and it's going to be Jimmy Harmon. And then we're going to waive Cope in favor of Rodriguez. That's going to be Rodriguez, it's going to be Escalera, and it's going to be Harmon. Perry's almost there. If Perry can improve his control a little bit, and maybe in the off season, I mean, I will do this much for him. I'm going to put him on the rule on the 40 man right now because he's definitely going to get a chance in spring training next year because he had a sensational year in a hitters league. So I am more than happy to guarantee him a roster spot. That I will freely and happily do for him. I've had some of the Monster Train theme music stuck in my head. It's a good feeling. Okay. Cool story, bruh. We just won the AL East. Nice. Scott Cassidy is an excellent pitching coach. Travis Thompson is truly legendary. Let's promote Thompson. No, he won't take it as a promotion. He'll take it as a lateral move. So I guess it is going to be Cassidy. Any intriguing pitching coaches? Yes, there's Walter Miranda. Walter, come on down. Wow, bro. Poor guy. Like, he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Major Leagues, woo! And you blow out your elbow, like, almost instantly. Poor guy. Hey, Chris. There you go. Welcome to the Major Leagues. Would you be so kind to like 6 home runs over the next couple of days, Zapata? That'd be super dope. Poor Daniel Cope. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a major league player. Oh, you're waving me again. Great. Fuck you, Montoya. I hope. I mean, a guy hit 3 home runs for us, just not the guy I would have preferred, but okay. He hit 6 home runs. Damn it. Yeah, I got a batting championship, but I could have been a fucking Triple Crown winner if not for stupid Montoya. I am disappointed. Who are we leaving off of the postseason roster? I'd rather leave Wilson off and carry Rosario because of his potential game-changing power. Personally. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove you from the postseason roster. I'm going to add Rosario. All right. Can we get past the first round is the question. Not like that, we're not. Wow. Not even close to making it to the next round. The offense was there, the pitching was god awful. We had our 2 best starters lined up, and neither one of them were remotely productive. He just got eaten alive, man. Jarvis had a good game. Ferris considerably less so. Oh my god. Why did you pull Ferris? Oh, because he gave up a lot of runs. That's a good reason to pull him out of the game. I guess Jarvis didn't have the best game either. No, he did. Yeah, he didn't allow any runs. Fucking offense tried, man. They surely tried. Just didn't get a chance to do anything more. Hey, look who fucking vanished in the playoffs. Gunnar Henderson. What a shock. Motherfucker, opt out of your contract. You've been a disappointment since the second I signed you. And it's not like you can't be a great offensive contributor here. Wow. Thanks, game. Really appreciate that. Fucking needs Tommy John surgery. You shitheads. And he was so important to our success down the line, too. I feel bad for Mikey Romero. At no point did I ever seriously consider him to play second base, even though he probably could have. Um, it just never made sense. I mean, we have the pretty clear MVP. I guess I can feel reasonably happy about that. We lost our pitching coach. Personnel. I'm going to promote Travis Thompson. I'm going to promote Walter Miranda. And then we're going to hire a new pitching coach in the person of Taylor Jordan. I'm salty that we didn't do anything in the postseason. That was really embarrassing. We had a phenomenal season. Like 94 wins is really, really good. I'm not upset about how we performed during the regular season, but I am disappointed that we just instantly disintegrated. Have they really offered you a better deal? Have they really? What if offered you 75 grand? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. If we had played slightly better, I think we could have gotten one of the buys, which I think would have helped us out a little bit. Because how close were we? If we look at the standings, yeah, if we had won 3 more games this year, we would have gotten one of the buys. Were we unlucky this year? We were a little. Actually, we ironically should have finished at 97, but then all the division leaders were unlucky, so we had a really good run differential. Mostly because I think we just clobbered our opponents into submission, although we did get some better pitching down the line there. I mean, Sergio Zapata casually posting a 372 batting average makes up for a lot of errors and issues in baseball. That Jackson Ferris here looks mighty stupid now, though. And the Rockies won the World Series. Good for them. Reliever of the year to Aiden Keenan of the Portland Shockers. Oh, it looks like that finished today, and then it'll actually start the offseason officially, so we can make some decisions here. Or think about it. Come on, game. There we go. First things first, I'm assuming I got an extension. Yes, I did. 1 year. Are you fucking joking? Are you having a fucking laugh that I just won 94 games and you're like, you can have one more season? Bo Naylor has had a really good year. I see very little upside to taking him off the roster now, so we will keep his option. We got to slide some coaches around, which we'll do next episode. Nah, none of these guys are good enough. Sorry, mate. Rejected. I'm still 19th. I added a bunch of talent in the draft this year. This is fucking rigged. Unbelievable. All right. Let's break down the season. Who did well, who did poorly? What can we expect next year? Batting stats. 4. So Sergio Zapata is your American League MVP, right? With the sabermetric triple crown of getting average on base percentage and slugging. Yeah, remember how I thought, he's overpaid? No, this is a bargain salary. He's a real good player, is what I'm getting at here. He walks more than he strikes out, which is absolutely fantastic. Yes, I have nothing more to say than he is incredible. I like what Andy Jacques, a little casual, is putting up like 6 to 7 wins a season, but he still feels overshadowed. Um, the power was down a bit, mostly because of the triples, which I've said so many times that you're probably sick of me saying it, are very volatile. But he had a phenomenal season, and I'm pretty happy with how he performed. He's also an amazing shortstop. Maybe he'll get a Gold Glove this year. Bo Naylor has turned in 2 consecutive quality seasons, which is very much appreciated. He handles the pitching staff well. He's a good hitter. I'm pretty happy about that. I ain't paying you $40 million to be worth 4 wins, fuckhead. Start playing better. Like, seriously. This guy was an MVP candidate with Baltimore. And then the moment he hits Charlotte, he just starts fucking coasting, I guess. Maybe he doesn't care anymore, but he better start fucking caring. Um, he gets to opt out after next season. I hope he does. I don't want him on this team anymore. He clearly doesn't want to be here. He sucks. And I know I'm saying this about a guy who's literally been worth 3 wins a season. That's why 3 wins a season isn't good enough. He should be playing 5 to 6 wins a season. He should be keeping pace with Chocolatto, basically, and he is not. Denzel Clark will not be with us next season, so I won't really talk too much about him. Chris Thomason actually put up a ton of value in the major league, despite that he didn't play very often, which is great news. He definitely has had a nice little season, and he'll probably get a bigger role next year if he ends up replacing somebody else. Paul Majani, I really need him to play a little bit better next season, but fortunately, he was really productive with us, and hopefully, we can see him be a quality player next year. Escalera was trashed here. Peguero wasn't much better. Armenteros was awful. Truly terrible. Yeah. I need better outfielders. For like the 7th season in a row, but it remains true. Other than Zapata, I need better outfielders. Eh. I can't be upset with Ernie Jarvis. It's not Ernie Jarvis's fault. Literally 3 pitchers were all very not good. I'm not going to give Jamie Harmon shit. He didn't get to pitch very much, but Whaley wasn't very good. Ayub wasn't very good. A lot of high ERA guys. Arias is brilliant. Arias is brilliant. Welch was really good too. We got some really good pitchers toward the ends there. But our starters, not so great. Not so great. Now, it's important to keep in mind, of course, that part of the reason the starters don't look so good is Jackson Ferris, who got hurt. Wait, why does it say 42-man roster? Did something change? It did change. We now have a 42-man roster. Neat. Okay. That's to conclude today's episode, friends. A very good season, our best yet. We just need to start making noise in the playoffs, which probably means upgrading the rotation somehow. Which we'll have to figure out in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Click on that bell icon to make sure you get notifications for new videos every Monday and Friday. And until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.